Did you do an interview with like Colonel Daniel Davis?
Yeah, we talked with him.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I remember at the time he asked you about North Korean troops, and then it was like you said, "Well, I can't talk about this." However, now President Putin and Gerasimov have talked about it. So, can you offer any of your observations about what you observed? Because understand where I'm coming from on this. When that news first appeared, I realized um, it was primarily Western propaganda. They were portraying it as the Russian army is so weakened, so battered that the North Koreans have to come in and save the Russians. That was the story they were telling, and I knew that was nonsense. Now, what we've learned is that the Korean leader Kim Jong-un asked President Putin, "Hey, can I send some of my guys so they can get trained in combat?"
Mhm.
And President said, "Okay," and that happened. So, yeah, anything you can comment about that experience, that what you've seen or observed?
Yes, so now the topic of the participation of the fighters from North Korea can be discussed. And more importantly, I think this topic needs to be brought out to international resources as much as possible, because Russia is not alone. And it has a powerful ally, which in the event of other armed conflicts will also provide assistance. And this works like from the side of North Korea and also from our side. And it also greatly strengthens the status of North Korea itself, and it works as a like warning for a lot of countries. And me myself, I met fighters from the North Korea in Suja, and I think that the Koreans had to adapt to the conditions of the new modern war, since their existing skills were like warfare in the classic sense.
Yes.
And here, like, imagine drones, fiber optics, a completely different story. And therefore, they gained colossal experience, considering that they are already considered to have a strong army. The
Right.
fighters are very hardworking, hardly, and fight well. And having gained experience here on Kursk land, they have become even stronger and will now implement this experience gained in the future exercises. And the training ground is an integral part of the exercises, and of course participation, tactical skills is very important. And the polygon, for example, endurance and the kind of trajectory of actions which they develop, so that everything is done automatically, like they learn it. But however, already in real actions, for example, the same assault, the situations may be different, where you will have to turn on and adapt to the situation. And here they had this experience that learning from mistakes, it worked. And also it is very interesting that the main age of Korean fighters was like 23, 27 years. So this is young guys. And I think that these guys will form a new like elite army, which will take this experience. Moreover, it's important to say that it's their first experience in real war. the participation in real war. So they will take this experience, go back to North Korea and share this experience. So the Korean army will be very increased.
Yeah, well,
And
it's good to have people with experience. That
yes.
They're not dealing with it as a theory, but it's a reality. How was the communication issue? Did they show up speaking Russian, or did you have Korean translators available? Because, as you know, when you give out commands and you're under stress and in a combat conditions, it's sometimes even in normal language it's difficult.
Of course, it were translators, and because we have very different languages, and it won't work with like a Hans language or something like that.
Yeah.
Of course, we had translators, and as we see the result, the translators work, the North Korean fighters work. We had an excellent result, as which we see in the Kursk land. So I think everyone did their job perfectly, and we will continue to work together and make a great big army.